Tsuchiko hands the tablet to Artemis and she smiles and says, "Good cop, bad cop."
I'll wait to cool off for a few minutes.
Noel, you quickly set up the range, especially if the other sender helps you. It's super quickly done in the pool.
Yeah, absolutely. Train for a little while, but after that, she's going to go back to Alice and start helping to train her. And she just mentioned casually to Noel, the other two senders went upstairs. They're checking around.
One thing I want to focus on during this training, like specifically during this little bit, is I just want to get used to the drop of the projectile. It's currently not very aerodynamic at all, like with the nails in it. I just want to continue to make notes when I do actually start, manufacturing ammunition.
Shot calling your own shots, basically, and trying to use knowledge on that front. All right. We go back to the two senders above. As they're coming down through the storeroom, they can hear the sounds of not the shots being fired, but the shots hitting against the soft wooden plates and then sometimes against the different parts of the pool area. But because they do have Palm Catalog, both of them, they would know it's probably the sound of the same gun the other sender and Noel were working on.
Once they come down, they'll go to Noel. Center will say, "Hey, guess what?
What?
I went upstairs, did a little bit of looking around, and I found a place to feed Plant Puppy."
What is it?
It's kind of like a hydroponic station.
Was there food?
I didn't go into the kitchen because there was an eye that was in the dining room that would have been able to see me, and since I didn't have backup, I was not going to because there are tentacles all over the place that can hit you, and it could lock you in the room as well with the diaphragm-looking muscles over the door.
Do I think Cinder's tripping while she's telling me this? Just know, as soon as you said there was an eye, Noel doesn't look like he's very convinced anymore. He doesn't. Maybe we should all go have a look at that.
Okay. Why? What's up?
I just want to see it for myself.
All right.
Is it really strange for a house that has a giant butthole to also have a giant eye?
No, and that was my logic.
I mean, an asshole is nowhere near as complex as an eyeball.
Cinder also shows the Roomba and says, maybe we could make a remote control to use this and mount a camera on it and use that to clear the rooms.
That is the most genius idea I've ever heard for multiple reasons.
Can you do that?
I hope so.
There's also a human-size robot and plenty of parts up there that I saw in just a couple of rooms. There's dead bodies, you know.
A human-sized robot.
Yeah, I tried to pick it up and take it with me. I wasn't going to fit it under the tentacles. This does sound pretty insane.
I'm going to go get Artemis.
Right, so, Nolly boy. He doesn't trust us because we could be robbers or we could be extorting information from him or he could just be tripping balls. And then other than that, he's also just telling us lies such as not knowing Dr. Slab, which you already knew. So he can basically go fuck off. And can you make like 1,000,000 years last 1 second for him? That'll be quite fun.
Tsuchiko says, "Wow, what deprived mind would think of that? I would never condone this."
Can I do that?
I would say 1,000,000 years might be a little too much. You don't know how much he can evolve while he's in that thing.
Every second is a full day then. I'm going to put a 5-minute lock on the system, because now we need to go look upstairs. Now we need to go look upstairs while he has his time out.
Oh god.
The lock is on. I am holding Plant Puppy now at this moment.
So Tsuchiko turns to Artemis and says, "Hey, Artemis, I'm going to go ahead and kill Kevin Logan on my own. If I die, and if you change into something that understands biology again, keep an eye on that glass of water that I have put out. It might teach you interesting things. So, sayonara, everyone."
Artemis is internally praying that he didn't drink that glass of water.
You're not going on your own, Tsuchiko.
So Tsuchiko wants to look for the wooden spear, the wristband, 2 or 3 scalpels, and of course the star of the show, the jammer helmet.
All right.
Cinder Center gets all of her gear, and Reckless gets her gun. I'll go ahead and just take the JN3, and I'll have the other one take the KL8.
All right.
The Chico turns back to Cinder and says, I really don't need you to come with me. I'm just going to take care of this business myself. Please don't follow me.
You don't have a choice.
Cinder, I know we've been calling you mother and palling around with you, but I want you to come to the realization that you are really not my mom. So why don't you get all the way off my back?
You're not gonna hurt me by saying things to Chico. It's what you do when you want to push somebody away. I don't think I'm your mom, but I'm somebody who cares for you, and I don't want your death.
Or maybe you just want to come back here and say, oh, I'm the only brave one here. I'm the one who goes to the first floor and discover eye walls.
No, I went up there to get things specifically. Y'all were down here fiddling with something that I didn't think was going to work out. So I went to go deal with stuff. If you want to kill Kevin Logan, that's fine, but I'm not letting you do it alone.
I think we agreed to do it as a group, but then all of us started doing other things, and, I'm just impatient. I just want to go and do it. Now, I'm telling you, if you come with me, you don't have a jammer, you don't have any protection. If you get yourself fucked up, don't think that I would feel guilty about it, because I've given you ample choice to turn back.
Well, you said you were impatient. Maybe if you expressed how deeply you want to do this to everybody else, since I can't make a jammer, maybe they would help. Word your shit.
I don't feel like I haven't already said that a million times.
She's gonna look back to Artemis and Noel.
Yeah, Artemis would just step in and go, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. A bit of I think dumbass is what they call it. We can just whip up one quickly now if you'd like, and then we'll head straight to it. You'll have my word, and that's not using bluff.
Yeah, but all of you a moment ago were just going up to investigate whether Cinder hallucinated an eye or not. Why does that even matter? Let her hallucinate an eye. All of us are hallucinating at the moment. We don't know. Maybe I'm even hallucinating myself. Haven't we already established that the fabric of reality is already torn apart?
Right, which means we should stick together. I know I went up to the first floor, and that's counterproductive, but I wasn't going to be able to do anything with Mr. Lawman. I wanted to feel productive. I feel like shit down here. I'm not doing what I can. I'm not doing what I'm good at. So yeah, I might go off and find some action, but it's all I'm good at. It's all I know. And Cinder does have like a tear in her eye. And I love you, not as a mother, but as a friend. You mean so much to me, and if I were to lose that, I'd be lost.
So, I guess this is going to be a group decision, and we do have decisions to make as a group, and we do have decisions to make as individuals. Is our decision as a group going to be prioritizing the jammers so that we can at least get rid of one threat that we know how to get rid of?
May I note that Noel and Artemis at the end of this conversation are now presenting a helmet they've made in the span of that fucking time. It's still hot, so they're barely holding it there. They're presenting it to you guys.
Guys, I hope that you don't think that I haven't spoken of that before, but I asked you to let me be the one who kills Kevin Logan. Are we still clear on that front too?
I will make you a deal, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If I see you go down and hurt badly, and I have the chance to take care of him before he can finish you off, I'm going to take it.
All right. I guess knowing that I'm not alone makes me feel a bit better, and I want you to keep this in mind, Cinder. You are the first and maybe only the real friend I have ever had in my life, but also I want you to understand that I have my boundaries, as Mr. Lawman likes to say.
I understand. You are my best friend, and I love you, even though you're a pain in my ass.
All right, but I just want you to know that my ass is not as painless as the faithful who are welcomed by Saint Peter at the gates of hell. I mean heaven. The Chico makes that mistake again.
Cinder Center and Sachiko will definitely be going. What about the rest?
Reckless will follow up and stand farther away, but still be able to hear them.
I'm good. I'll go.
Maybe we should make one more hat.
I mean, does not really need the hat. I mean,
We just won't get close.
How many materials did it take to make a helmet?
4 basic, 5 tech.
How much worse will it be, and how much better will it be with
If it's
the...
just the basic being substituted for junk, it'll just be 25% side effects and
Use junk and tech.
junk and tech?
junk and tech.
Should we pause the butler before we go?
I mean, 1 second was a day, and I think we did that about half hour ago. So
The Chico says, I think killing Kevin would have therapeutic value for me.
I think it'll have therapeutic value on me as well, so watching you kill him, should I say.
Yeah, the Chico was giving you the hugest stink eye when you said that.
Alright, once the helmet is made, Cinder will look to Noel and say, do you think Trip Sitter would help you in this?
I'm not really sure, but I'm hoping so.
Alright, I'm ready.
So, shall we go?
Alright, let's fucking do this.
So,
So we're gonna take the secret tunnel to the garage, yeah?
Yippers bippers.
Alright.
The Chico puts her hand on the on and off switch and she leaves it off for the moment.
and who else is wearing this? Is it Center who's wearing the other one?
Yes, Center is wearing it.
And Noel is also wearing a slightly faulty one.
Yeah.
Noel, as you're walking, you feel little bits, little hints of this sulfuric, garlicky smell. It feels like it has a rhythm, how it appears and goes.
I suppose I will continue.
The path begins to change for just you, Sachiko. It feels like the tunnel behind you starts to collapse, closing it off behind all of you.
The Chico turns on the jammer for like a little while until she turns it off again, just to make sure that she really is approaching Kevin Logan.
You guys reach the hatch. Who goes in first?
The Chico turns on the jammer and leaves it on for the moment, and then she tries to open the hatch and peer inside sneakily.
You look, and there seems to be a hiding place here underneath this hatch, but also a path that continues the tunnel a bit further to the right, but this time into more of a crawl rather than just walking. As you guys continue, you would come upon another hatch that seems to be connected to the same route, but you can only see it through damaged bits of the asphalt and the ground that is above you, as if there's just one hole that goes in and shows that there has been an explosion that leveled this ground and caused some shockwaves that actually tore through the asphalt itself slightly, and that's what's leaving these holes.
With my architectural knowledge.
With your architectural knowledge, you would think that this place had once been breached, the place that you're going to go into. It seems like it was breached from the outside for someone to gain access to the underground where you guys would be, and now you're at the final hatch that would lead you down there.
We go to the hatch.
You guys now open the hatch. It sits down a ladder that, with the dust that it gives off, is obviously something that has been left alone for many, many years. However, the outer part of the hatch seems to have been badly damaged from the inside, as if it has been shot at and escapes had been attempted. It reveals this somewhat luxurious but mostly mechanical and practical looking underground of the garage, where you see husks of former vehicles, most of them very, very expensive as well. All of them having been torn down, bits and pieces extracted, but not the heaviest parts. Most of them having been damaged, as if people who had been doing it didn't know what they were doing. There are odd sights among these cars as well. The blood spatters to you, Sachiko, suggest that people had been self-harming in this place in strange ways.
So basically, like the previous Kevin, they were brought to the level of mental collapse by the hallucination.
To the right, a shelf containing 2 foldable bicycles, and to the left, there is a workstation that is automatic and would be checking the cars each time that they were parked in the garage and then brought down. Down the place you guys are entering from, and also where the vehicles would be lifted up into the garage itself from the mechanized system to then leave the building. And up, away from you guys, you see a sealed but still big and noticeable fracture and hole in the ceiling of this place, where Noel believes the explosion had happened.
So we don't have to be lifted up to get into the actual garage?
No, you can just go through the mechanized part that would move vehicles up. You could just go up.
We know the exact location of Kevin Logan at this moment. Am I correct?
Yep.
Cinder will point and then point to herself and then look questioningly at Sachiko as if to say, do you want me to go first?
Sachiko emphatically shakes her head no.
Cinder will nod and allow Sachiko to take the lead.
As I will follow, obviously the last in the three, but as soon as we get up there, I want to do a vicinity check immediately.
The first one up is Sachiko, and it's just a normal garage. There is still what seems to be a car in there, very luxurious, and this one untouched. Otherwise, there's a workstation, shelves. There are signs of something having bled, something have had infections, something had been beaten and thrown into this place. And it leads right under a collapsed shelf with all the items on the ground. And it's this frail and strange, muscle-less, mutated form. Large tumors protruding out of its flesh, very thin, as if almost any nutrition in this body had been completely consumed by these different lumps of growth. But you guys just see the legs that sits there. And for your vicinity check, Noel, no danger. However, all the shelves in this place can be used for makeshift cover and can also block off the path of anyone charging at you from either side of the car.
Well, I'm not going to tear them down, but I'm gently going to take 1 or 2 down. Like, I'm not just going to start throwing them on the floor, but I want to...
You only leave one way from the side of the car. You only leave one entry and exit.
Cinder is going to use lock. This is all on you, Sachiko.
I'm going to get into cover immediately, by the way.
I want to make him visible to me.
Over around the corner where the shelf has fallen, and you see the creature. Just as malnourished as you remember Kevin to have been, but even bigger and overgrown tumors that seem to have had access to lots and lots of nutrition over the years. Having grown past their normal size and almost making the upper body look like a blob with just a small, skinny head and a barely functioning skeleton barely covered with skin, desperately fighting for breath.
There's no umbilical cord, right?
None. And no growth around this area either.
I just needed to make sure that fucking baby wasn't feeding him.
So Sachiko looks at Logan, smiles and says, "Hello, Logan. I'm Sachiko."
You think the being in front of you is incapable of speech? Too weak?
But capable of understanding, yes.
You do think so?
If I pop the tumors, basically, would that be dangerous to me?
If you don't have open wounds, it probably wouldn't be, especially because you can do them safely.
Chico turns on to Noel and Cinder and says, "Trigger warning, I don't think you're going to like what's going to happen here." And then she's going to tell to Logan, they say this is the most painful way that someone can die. I don't know if this is historically accurate or not, but it seems that some Chinese soldiers used to do it in the medieval times. Anyway, this is my gift for you in appreciation for the gift that you gave me a while ago. She's going to take one scalpel off, and it doesn't look like Logan is going to struggle, yes?
Doesn't seem to even be really moving, just little twitches.
She takes one scalpel and she begins to skin him alive.
You begin your process. There's more twitching. The breathing picks up. It can definitely feel. It just seems to go into this fetal position and then constantly is struggling to no avail. There are slight bits of tears from its eyes and its head shaking while all of this is happening. Do you continue till the being is dead and bleeds out?
Yepers pepers.
A pungent smell starts to take over and the child is dead.
The Chico gets up and spits on his corpse.
You do so. The bits and pieces of all the overgrown and stretched skin all around, and this little pimple of a being also dead without any skin in a pool of blood.
Cinder whispers, at least he's not suffering anymore.
First of all, she looks to see if she understands anything about the beacon-like monsters. And after she's done her evaluation, she's going to behead the corpse too.
Do you want a DNA sample from this one? Cinder still has all 3 of your DNA pods.
Alright, so Sachiko uses that one too.
You have the DNA sample. What you learn is that all the tumors work as different communicational coils. They're very complex. It's just that you know these work like amplifiers. And you know that unlike most of the other mutations and such that you've seen, these are purely parasites.
And do I think they are intelligent parasites?
You don't think there's much intelligence to them, no, but they seem suspiciously practical, as if they could just be programmed to serve this purpose. They're one of the things that don't seem to really be helping themselves as much as they are just causing chaos by doing what they do, by making what they make. You think they're not fit to survive even that well, as if their time had gone by long ago.
Are they artificially designed?
You don't see any traces of it, but their practicality still makes them suspiciously feel that way.
My other question is it safe to assume what they do is that they activate the viruses in other beings?
That much you had already gathered by studying other beings who had turned as well.
Looking at it, is it possible, not necessarily for me, but for someone with a lot of knowledge, to create the same parasites, but in order to reverse the effects of mutation?
Nah, you don't think so. You think this would only be something that just signals and allows better growth in other people. They are still infected, and as soon as they have that traumatic breakdown, they would turn. You can't give them a euphoric experience and reverse it. But if someone is really masterful, they could just learn more, perhaps.
So I want to behead Logan.
You do? It's not very hard.
Impale his head on my spear.
You do?
So he turns to Cinder and Nolan and says, I'm done here.
Just as you turn, for a second they're not there. Then the next second they're floating in the air, 45 degrees to the side, tilted, looking away from you. And you're looking at that side currently as you're looking in that direction. Noel even being within the shelves, as if he's glitching through the shelves and through the ceiling. All the shelves and everything in them seems all perfectly aligned while you look at them. And then they're normal again.
Number 1, I'm done here. Number 2, I just had a massive Laura hallucination.
So Mommy Dearest, who sees all, is not happy with us.
Also, the jammer doesn't work against her.
Right.